Oh, hey there. Sorry, I didn't expect to see you here so early. Sorry, I'm still getting to the scene. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Let's get right to it, shall we? Now, I know that a lot of you have gone through, or is in the process of going through schooling. So today, I'd like to talk about one particular part of schooling that I think about years later. Grade school. Now, I know that every grade school is different, so I will be recounting my own grade school war stories, and you can see if it aligns with your own experience. One of the worst parts about going to these is the lack of things you're able to say. Now, I know, swearing and just being vulgar is an understandable part to this, especially teaching a bunch of grade schooler and middle schoolers. But sometimes schools cross the line and ban things that aren't even bad. Back when I was in grade school, they banned nearly everything that was a popular phrase at the time, like the word bro. You couldn't even have a normal conversation with the homies without checking your back after every sentence. Yo, what's up, dude? Nothing much, how are you? Gotcha. This place blows. Not only this, but they banned a majority of the popular dances at the time, like the dab. Which was cool at the time, guys, I promise. I can understand not doing them in the buildings or in class, but we couldn't even do them in recess. I mean, do they want us to stand as Easter egg island boys for the 15 minutes we got outside as a break? I mean, I couldn't do that. It gets cold out there. And sometimes when you're a kid, cold from the elements, and full of energy, you just have to bust a move. And subsequently miss recess for the rest of the week. Now, the next thing that grinds my gears about grade school is getting blamed for everything. I'm sure not everybody likes being blamed for things they did not even do, but I could swear that teachers there just think that all kids are devils trying to commit every punishable act on purpose. Now, I'm not saying that kids aren't devils. I mean, someone has to be giving them unlimited energy to say some of the most downright atrocious things every 5 minutes. But when teachers choose not to hear students out, that sort of stuff starts to leave a mark. So, sir, what were you doing out there? This is Detective Johnson. He's interviewing the suspect, Blue Box Head, to figure out why he was speaking to himself on school premises. The following video has been analyzed by very smart people that know criminal behavior. Are you gonna say anything? I will never forget the time when I was in 5th grade and we were playing some sort of game in class, and I had the Barbie song stuck in my head, so I started humming the tune. The teacher told me to stop humming that song, and me at the time didn't know the implications of the song at all. So after a few minutes with the song still stuck in my head, I accidentally hummed it again. Look, I really wasn't trying to make this teacher's life difficult, but for some reason my brain completely forgot that I wasn't supposed to hum that melody. Well, that's what happened, and I found myself with another pink detention slip, knowing that it was no one else's fault but my own, and accepting that it was just a skill issue on my part. What is happening? I'm just gonna send you to the holding cell. Now, allow me to talk about one important piece of any grade school, or really any school in general, and that is the class clown. Every school has one, so of course only a brave soul would ever dare to partake in such a journey to make the class laugh at the expense of their own lunch period freedom. And there were a few in my class, actually. I personally think that there are 3 types of class clowns. The one that makes fun of themselves, the one that makes fun of others, and the one that unfortunately makes fun of the teachers. And then there was that one kid in my class, Tony, who constantly made an effort to make teachers' lives harder by being an absolute menace to them. I'll always remember when we were sitting in science class, learning about mitosis or something, and I look over to see this guy leaning back on his chair. Now, you all know the warnings every teacher gives about doing that. They'll break your head open, or they'll tell you they've known students that done it before. Now, the science teacher tells Tony to stop leaning back on his chair, and tells him to stop sitting like that because it isn't normal. His reply? He looks at the teacher with the most serious facial expression and says, "That's not normal." And then this guy continued to sit like that for like the rest of the class. My entire class died of laughter as clandestinely as possible, but the teacher noticed and threatened to send those who were laughing to detention. But once again, even if it may be funny, I encourage you all ex-class clowns, current ones, or even the future ones to not pick on teachers that already deal with enough torment as it is, and to just let them teach until you know it's absolutely okay to joke around. Now, what are the best parts about going to grade school? Things that help salvage the experience and turn it into something at least decent. It's the trips. Yeah, it's definitely the trips. As a kid, going literally anywhere except being cooped up in a boring classroom all day was the ultimate experience. Now, hear me out. I don't need to sound like your parents whenever they see any person under the age of 21 using a mobile device, but I personally think that trips were better because we didn't have any phones or any form of technology in the buildings. So we were all kind of just forced to look around and talk to each other and just admire the occasional not being in the classroom for a while experience on a bus and going wherever. School trips were always fun because they offered a differing experience to the usual monotony of being yelled at for singing the iCarly theme song at the line after recess. I was able to hang out with my friends and talk to them for the hour that we were on there, chatting about the latest games and joke about a slew of now unfunny and totally irrelevant jokes that I'm now remembering and is making me regret remembering. And the best part about this is that even if you don't have any friends, you can always just look out the window and enjoy the world that you're kept away from normally. It almost feels wrong to be away from school when you normally should be, which adds to the thrill. So cherish your school trip rides, or anything that's a change of scenery for you to explore, and save that to that biological computer of yours. Make the most of it. How about friends though? One of the best things in life to have, but so few people have genuine of. Having friends in grade school is an automatic pass in life since you have people to share a good moment or suffering. I had a good amount of friends in grade school. One could even consider me kind of popular. Mr. CEO of the institution. My friends and I sat at one table during lunch and just shared silly stories and recent experiences. You know, the normal stuff. One time I will always vividly remember was when we were all sitting at the lunch table and some younger kids at another table started throwing food at us. One of my friends started throwing food back, and then we all got in trouble for food fighting. I did not even know what went down, and suddenly I'm in detention again. At that point, I'd already served more detention slips to serve me a life sentence with a chance of parole after 20 recesses. It was fine though, because we all got punished. We all shared the same confusion and anger together, until we were all able to laugh about it. That is the best part about having your own community. It comes in clutch when you really feel outed. Which brings me to my final point, the importance of making and finding a community. It's probably a lot harder to do when you're a kid and have no idea of how to interact with others, or if you're being bullied or feel singled out by the teachers. But it is really important to reach out to anyone at the end of the day. Having the friends that I did helped motivate me through the course of the years when that school drove me to my wit's end. Now, I know that not everyone has that, but I know that just having one person listen to you, even for just a little, is more than beneficial to win your battle against the world. So do fight, and you will keep winning. Meanwhile, I will continue to hide away from the local authorities in this cave for the indefinite future. Later. Listen, feller, I know that being in a police station may be a bit intimidating, but you're gonna have to tell me what you were doing out there one way or another. I mean, I'm not really sure why you're staring at that camera, but I mean, I'm right here, like, let's just talk. Hello? Hello?